Okay, so I wanted to record a dream for you guys that the Lord gave me. And what was wild is I called the lady in this dream, and this was exactly happening in her life at the time. But it was an encouragement for all of us. And so in this dream, I had a friend, and my friend had her own business, and she was very busy, and she had a lot of things that she needed to do that day. But she found out that she had a friend in her life that was sick. And so, and I'm going to say that my friend's name is Sally, just so I don't keep using the word friend here. But so Sally found out that her friend was sick, and she had to drive, and it was a long drive. It was about an hour drive, and she left, and she drove the hour, and she went and met her friend, and she prayed with her friend for about an hour. And this was really inconvenient for Sally. Sally had a lot to do. She was self-employed. She was the major breadwinner of her household. And this was a sacrifice of like her business and her ability to earn. But she loved this woman, and this woman was in a really bad spot, and this woman needed prayer. And so I was over there. I was at the house in the dream, and I was praying for this woman with her, with Sally. And I first started, and I was focused on the woman. But as I started to shift, I began to look at Sally, and I began to watch her. And as I watched her, it was like the heavens opened. And what I could see was that there was an audience from heaven who had all came and had gathered around this house, and they were watching, right? What were they watching? Well, in heaven, they knew the sacrifice that Sally was making. They knew it. I don't know how they knew it, but they knew it. They knew that this was costly, and they knew that she was doing this because she loved this woman, not because she was getting any glory or honor or money, and that she was sacrificing. And truly, she was being the Good Samaritan, because if you go back to that story of the Good Samaritan got off his horse, got in the dirt, used his own oil and wine, and paid the money, and got dirty, like paid his own resources to restore the man who had been beaten and robbed and left in the ditch. And as my focus began to shift from this friend who was sick to Sally, and I began to see the cloud of witnesses that were standing around, they were all what's the right word? It was like they were all excited. And it was like they were watching a movie that they loved. Like there was just this huge audience. And, we're told to pray that the will of the Father would be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we're supposed to pray for God's will to be done on earth, just like it is always done in heaven. And so when I saw this great cloud and all these people, and they were really, they were like whispering, like, wow, do you see that? Do you see what she's doing? This is so awesome. And I knew that is what, even though I didn't see the Father in the dream, I knew that's what he was doing as well. Like he was paying attention. I almost see him like scooting up on the edge of the seat to watch Sally as she took the sacrifice to step away from her busy life to go pray for her friend. And the other thing is, like, there was no fanfare. Like she didn't get a social media, attaboy. Someone didn't go on Instagram and put it in their reel that Sally had done this amazing thing. She didn't go tell everybody what she did. She just did it. She just did it. And no one knew about it except for her and her friend and all of heaven, right? That's it. Just all of heaven, just the Father, the creator of all things knew. And so I just want to bless you guys. We're going to find when we get to heaven that a lot of things that we valued were upside down. Our Christian model values the big stages and the big buildings and the big followers and the big preaching and all of these things. And I think that we're going to find that God used that, but maybe it wasn't as valuable as we thought, even though he used it. And that's a hard thing. We're like, well, if he used it, it's valuable because we value the things that we use. But God is looking for something entirely different in this age. He's looking to teach us to lay down our life and to operate in the substrate of all creation, which is the three things that remain, which is faith, hope, and love, right? And so we get an opportunity to walk out faith, hope, and love when it costs us, and we get nothing in back for it. And then in the age to come, he's going to give us glorified bodies and true power to rule and reign. And that lesson of the faith, hope, and love that we learn now, we'll be able to combine it with his power that he gives us in a great magnitude. But this age is all about learning to walk in faith, hope, and love, and not to seek glitz and glamour and fanfare, to not seek crowds, and to not live a life that's all about the pursuit of our own comfort and our own satisfaction. Jesus was our model, and he laid down his life to serve others. And he says, the greatest among you will be a servant of all. And so I bless you guys. When I do these talks, I don't give you, so here's what you do, because I don't know what you're to do. God wrote the book with all of your good works before you were born. He prepared your good works beforehand. You're his workmanship to walk these out. Ask him, listen, begin to obey. But we may have to stop listening to men and stop getting our task list from men and stop looking around at the world and comparing ourselves to find out if we're important or not. Because I assure you that the values of heaven are completely reversed from the values of the world. And unfortunately, many of the values of the world have gotten into the church and they've affected us. And we need to be set free from that. We need to be set free from that. So I bless you. Go sit with somebody in a quiet place and pray for them and encourage them, even if no one sees, even if you're busy, even if it costs you something, because heaven and the Father is watching. Amen.